Praise the Lord. Welcome to Bible Prophecy Forum from Nairobi, Kenya. My name is Evangelist Seth OMONDI Olale. Today I want to talk about the unfolding situation between Russia and Ukraine versus NATO. Russia now is fighting a direct war against the United States of America and Ukraine and NATO. Those three have combined to directly attack Russia, the most powerful nuclear superpower in the history of the world. The world is now entering a very dangerous stage because Russia is now being attacked deep inside its territories. American mercenaries that are dressed with uniform of Ukraine army have now entered deep inside Russia, and they are bombing cities, they are bombing residential apartments and buildings and killing civilians in Russia. America and European leaders, they are suicidal. They are not only suicidal, but they are foolish leaders. And this suicidal mentality and this foolishness that is being displayed by American and European leaders is actually part of God's judgment against America and Europe and the entire world. Because this war that we see happening between Russia, Ukraine, and now Russia versus America and NATO, this war is going to spread around the world. Just like also the war that is soon coming between Iran and Israel, that war is going to affect the entire world. Don't let anybody cheat you that the Middle East is going to go back to normal. The Middle East is not going back. The Middle East is not going to go back to normal. Don't let anybody cheat you or deceive you that Iran has decided not to attack Israel. A great war is coming in the Middle East. A great world war is coming to the Middle East. World War III is coming in the Middle East. Iran is going to attack suddenly without notice. And remember that Russia and Iran, they have got military agreements that if you attack Iran, Russia is going to come in and fight and support Iran. Iran also has got military agreement with China. Any nation that attacks Iran will be attacking China. Iran has got military agreements with North Korea. Any nation that is attacking the nation of Iran is attacking North Korea. Just like Israel has got military agreements with America and NATO. In the same way, Iran is covered by Russia, China, and North Korea. Remember that China is soon going to overtake America as the most powerful economy and industrialized country in the world. And unlike America, China does not have any petrol and gas reserves inside China. China imports its petrol and gas, natural gas, from Russia and Iran and the Middle East. So if America and Israel decides to destroy Iran, it will mean that they are destroying China's economy. Because the only way that China can sustain its economic growth and security, energy security, is by getting petrol and natural gas from Iran and other nations in the Middle East. China also imports petrol from Russia. China also imports a lot of its petrol from Russia. So, as I was telling you, American and NATO troops have now successfully entered deep inside Russia. In fact, the president of Russia is now accusing Ukraine, and we know that Ukraine is being supported by America and NATO. Russia is now accusing Ukraine of trying to destroy a nuclear power station in the territory of Kursk. And we also saw that about 2 weeks ago, there were reports that the Zaporizhia nuclear power station in southern Ukraine, near the Black Sea, near the city of Odessa, had been attacked by rockets or drones, which were launched by Ukraine. Because actually the International Atomic Energy Commission, they had videos recording of the missiles that were being launched from the direction of Ukraine. The Zaporizhia nuclear power station is the largest nuclear power station inside Europe. It was built by the Russians many years ago when Ukraine was part of Russia. But you see, the Americans and European imperialists, they can never get satisfied, because Russia allowed Ukraine to secede and become independent under one condition, that Ukraine was going to be a neutral country and that Ukraine was not going to join NATO. That was the agreement between Boris Yeltsin and Mikhail Gorbachev when they allowed the former Warsaw countries like East Germany and Lithuania, Estonia, Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, all those countries were under the USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republic, USSR. Poland, Romania, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, all those countries were under the Warsaw Pact, that was a military organization that was headed by USSR, which is a nuclear superpower, just like the United States of America. Russia now will have no other alternative but to start to defend itself and defend its own borders. Russia now is going to start fighting back against NATO and other European countries directly. Russia will now be forced to attack American military bases outside Ukraine. Russia is now going to start bombing and attacking cities in Europe where the decisions to make war against Russia are being held. I'm now talking about the cities like the number one target of Russia will be the city of Brussels in Belgium, because we know that NATO headquarters is in Brussels in Belgium. That is why President Putin a couple of months said that any European country that is a small country that is densely populated should not provoke Russia, because those are one nation missile strike. Those are one nation nuclear strike. It means that only one nuclear missile can destroy those nations. Countries like Belgium and countries like Britain and the Netherlands, those are tiny countries compared to Russia. Only one nuclear missile can wipe off those nations from the face of the earth. So very soon, I believe that as we go towards the end of 2024, President Putin is now going to be forced to carry out massive attacks, even using nuclear weapons, against some of the countries that are giving weapons to Ukraine. Remember that the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, he warned last year that Russia is going to, he has been warning since last year and early this year, that Russia is going to start attacking the decision-making centers of NATO. What are the decision-making centers of NATO? We are talking of the capital cities of European and North American countries. The capital cities of European NATO members, that is London, Paris. We are talking of Berlin. We are talking of Washington, cities like Canada, Toronto, and other European countries that have got their capitals. Those are the decision-making centers. It also means all the factories in North America, Canada, and Western Europe, and in Britain. Any factory which is being used to manufacture weapons that are being given to Ukraine, those factories and military industrial complex are going to be targeted by Russian nuclear weapons. It also means military bases of America, Britain, and NATO members like France, anywhere they are in the world, they are going to be hit. It also means that airports and naval ports and naval bases of America and European nations like France and Britain. Their naval, their naval ports and navy bases anywhere around the world will be destroyed. It also means infrastructure like airports, bridges, railways, and even satellite. Satellite, America and Britain and European powers, they are supplying Ukraine with military intelligence and GPS locations, and they are actually helping Ukraine to target Russian military positions inside Ukraine and now even inside Russia. If anybody tells you that World War III has not started, that is a fool. World War III started in February 2022 when Russia invaded Ukraine. And now America and NATO are attacking Russia directly using weapons from America and NATO. They have sunk Russian Navy ships, they have destroyed Russian submarines, they have destroyed Russian nuclear planes, warplanes that Russia carry their strategic nuclear warheads, have been destroyed in Russia military bases, air bases. They have hit even the Kremlin, the very seat where President Putin has his office. They have even sent drones and missiles to attack the Kremlin. They are attacking Russian skyscrapers. They have destroyed Russian bridges. This is World War III. These people, they are people who are suicidal. Can you imagine what will happen to any nation that goes and tries to attack America, destroying American submarines, destroying American warplanes that America can use to carry nuclear weapons? Can you imagine any nation that tries to send drones to attack the White House? Can you imagine any nation that sends missiles to attack and destroy American Navy bases inside America, inside Florida or California or New York? We saw how America reacted after September 11. America declared war against Iraq and Afghanistan, and America waged war against Iraq and Afghanistan for almost 20 years. So you can imagine what will happen if Russia and China were to attack America from using Mexico or Cuba. What will happen if Russia was to take their missiles and start bombing American cities from Cuba, destroying American Navy ships, destroying American submarines, and destroying American cities? How do you think America will respond? America will respond with nuclear weapons, like yesterday. So people are saying that the world should thank God that Russia has got a president like Vladimir Putin, who is actually the most patient president in the entire world. Putin has been very, very patient with America and NATO, and they started provoking Russia almost 20 years ago. They did not start provoking Russia recently, because remember that when Germany and other countries that used to belong to the Warsaw Pact, other countries that were communist, and they were supporting Russia, countries like Bulgaria, Romania, Poland, East Germany, Yugoslavia, and all the former Baltic states which were part of Russia. We are talking of Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Moldova, all those Baltic states. Russia agreed to allow them to be free and to be democratic under one condition, that none of them was going to join NATO. Because there is nothing that a superpower, a nuclear superpower, hates like having the military bases of their enemy anywhere near their border. No nuclear superpower would like to see the missiles or military bases or troops from their enemies anywhere near their border, because it is a dangerous threat. That is why America almost declared World War III in 1962, Cuban crisis, when Russia wanted to station nuclear missiles inside Cuba. John F. Kennedy gave Russia an ultimatum that America was going to declare World War III if Russia was not going to remove their nuclear missiles from Cuba. So now the same thing is now happening in the borders of Russia. America has deployed nuclear missiles all over Europe, and America has surrounded Russia with military bases all the way from Britain, Germany, Poland, Bulgaria, Estonia, and even now they have stationed American weapons deep inside Ukraine, and they are now actually attacking Russia. So the world is now heading into World War III. That is why I want to direct you to, there is a prophecy that was given in the year 2007. In the year 2007, that video was posted online on April 21st, 2007, and it was a video about a prophecy that was given to an American pastor who was living inside Ukraine. He was given that prophecy and he posted it, and he gave that prophecy in the year 2007. In that prophecy, God warned this American pastor by the name of Phillip Barnette. Phillip Barnette. God spoke to him and gave him a prophecy that Russia was going to attack and invade Ukraine in the future. That prophecy and that sermon was recorded inside Ukraine in the year 2007. And this American prophet and man of God, who was also a pastor living in Ukraine, he prophesied that Russia was going to invade and attack Ukraine, and there was going to be a massive war between Russia and Ukraine, and then America and other countries are going to join the war against Russia. And then he prophesied that America was going to use nuclear weapons against Russia in the coming war. Remember that this was a prophecy that was given in the year 2007. And then he prophesied that America was going to attack Russia and Belarus using nuclear weapons. America was going to use nuclear weapons against Belarus. The southern part of Belarus was going to be destroyed by American nuclear weapons. And then he also prophesied that America was going to use nuclear weapons against Russia by striking Russia territory west of the western territories of Russia, and even Moscow and St. Petersburg and many other regions of western Russia were going to be struck by nuclear weapons. That prophecy is called the Azovmena prophecy. The Azovmena prophecy. I'm going to give the title of this prophecy and the name of the pastor at the bottom of the video. I'm going to give it on the title of the prophecy and the name of the pastor, Phillip Barnette, and I'm also going to connect the video of that prophecy in the description box. Therefore, this is now where we are heading. We are now heading towards World War III. World War III between America and Ukraine and NATO versus Russia. And also, we are going to see World War III exploding between Iran versus Israel and versus America. Remember the prophecy that I also gave. Remember the prophecy I talked about, the fiery kickoff event by Jeff Barley. Jeff Barley gave a prophecy in the year 2018. Because that is when I watched that prophecy, and he talked that there was going to be a great war between America and the Muslim nations in the Middle East. And he prophesied that the America Navy was going to lose two of its biggest aircraft carriers, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Ronald Reagan, were going to be destroyed in the Middle East during the coming World War III. In that prophecy that Jeff Barley gave about the fiery kickoff event, he prophesied way back in the year 2018. That is when I first watched those videos. He prophesied that America was going to go to war in the Middle East versus Islamic countries. He never mentioned the countries, but he said that there was going to be a world war in the Middle East, and America Navy was going to be involved in that war. And he gave a prophecy that America was going to lose two of its aircraft carriers, the USS Abraham Lincoln and the USS Ronald Reagan. Remember that both President Ronald Reagan and President Abraham Lincoln, they were fatally shot during their presidency, and actually Abraham Lincoln died and Ronald Reagan almost died. And he said that the same fate is going to fall upon those two aircraft carriers. Today I was watching news reports, saying that the American aircraft carrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, has now finally arrived in the Middle East. Remember that this aircraft carrier was inside the Pacific Ocean near Japan or Guam, but it was directed to go and sail towards the Middle East in preparation of the coming World War III between America, Israel versus Iran, Russia, and China. Don't think that Russia and China are going to allow America and Israel to destroy Iran. This is going to be World War III. America is not going to ride roughshod over Iran. The days of America destroying countries the way they destroyed Serbia, Libya, Afghanistan, Iraq, the way the American went and started doing carpet bombing in Vietnam and Cambodia, where America was using millions of bombs, destroying innocent civilians and killing hundreds of thousands or even millions. Those days are over. Right now, China, North Korea, and Russia and Iran They are now going to tackle America head on. And this is now where the war that was described in the Bible, in the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 and Jeremiah chapter 51, whereby a coalition of nations are going to surround Babylon, America, and they are going to destroy Babylon, and the great eagle, Babylon, is going to be attacked from all sides, according to the prophecy of Jeremiah chapter 50 and Jeremiah chapter 51. And the great eagle is going to be taken down. Its feathers are going to be plucked out. Its beak is going to be broken. Its eyes are going to be gouged out. Its claws are going to be plucked out. And its wings and its tail feathers are going to be cut off. And the eagle is going to be sent down to the ground because of the great pride of the eagle. Remember that Satan was the most beautiful angel that God created and the most intelligent angel that God created. But because of her beauty, because of his beauty, he became arrogant and violent, and he rebelled against God. So the same curse that was upon Lucifer, that is the same curse that is now upon Babylon the Great, the eagle, Babylon, America. America was the most powerful nation that God has blessed on the face of the earth. The most powerful nation that God blessed on the face of the earth. And America was given the most beautiful land and the most productive land. America was given everything by God. But they forgot God, and they now have become the bully of the world, destroying nations, using their weapons, and using the power of the American dollar. So now the time has come for Babylon, the eagle, to be humbled. And God is now going to use Russia and China, North Korea, Cuba, and Iran to come against Babylon in a great war in the future, in the near future. I'm talking of maybe a war that is going to come after 2 years or after 3 years. That is when we are now going to see the military troops of these countries entering Babylon, America, and America will be taken over. Remember that also America has opened its borders to millions of foreigners, illegal foreigners, who have entered America illegally. And some of the millions of foreigners who have entered America, they come from countries which are enemies of America. They come from the Middle East, they come from Afghanistan, they come from Asia, and some of these countries are Muslim countries, Islamic countries who hate America, and America now has been invaded by millions of people from China, the Middle East, from India, Pakistan, Turkey, Lebanon, from the Gaza Strip, from North Africa, from West Africa, from Southern America, gangs from Venezuela, Mexico, Chile. Many nations have opened their prisons and they've sent the worst criminals from their countries, the drug dealers, the murderers, the rapists. They have all been sent inside America. And according to Mike from around the world, Mike from around the world was telling Paul Begley that over 100 million illegal foreigners have already entered America, which means that America has already been infiltrated. Remember the story of the city of Troy, how the city of Troy was invaded. They presented a big, gigantic wooden horse which had soldiers hiding inside it. And when the city of Troy accepted that wooden gift of the gigantic wooden horse, they never knew that enemies were hiding inside the belly of the wooden statue of the horse. So when they took that horse and they accepted the gift, the enemies unlocked the horse belly at night, and they came out and they burnt the entire city, and they also opened the gates. So that is what has happened to the United States of America. Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, they have opened the borders of America to her enemies. And now it is believed that millions of terrorists from the Middle East have already infiltrated America. I'm not saying this. This is according to Paul Begley. Paul Begley and Mike from around the world, they are saying that over 100 million illegal foreigners have already entered America. And these people, they are waiting for a signal from the enemies of America, and they are going to attack America at the appointed time. The same thing has also been said by the Master's Voice of Prophecy, Sister Celestial Revival. She is saying that America has been infiltrated by killer gangs from Venezuela and South America. And these people, they are going to be using very dangerous weapons against American citizens once the American